Hey YouTube, this is the Art of Prepping. I'm just going to talk about making survival bracelets, wrist armor, whatever you like. I know there's a lot of people out there that think it's kind of a trendy thing. It's a fad. It's been going on for many years though, and just in case you want to know the knots or just learn how it works, this is the video for you. So what we have here is you can just pick the color that you would like and loop it over and then just kind of figure out when you put your wrist when you wrap this around your wrist, how much length you need. Just make it slightly a little bit bigger than your wrist so that when you put the actual the braid on there or the knots, you'll have a little bit of room for that. And just kind of do a simple overhand knot here just for the moment. The next thing you're going to do is going to have to cut out, I do approximately about 6 feet of cord here for the actual the braiding. In this particular situation, what I've done though is because I want to have a two-tone on top of the orange. This is going to be the core color. And what you do here is you just simply can splice the two colors. Splicing here is what I've done already. I've spliced this here a woodland camo with an olive drab. And so all you need to do here to get started, this is fairly difficult holding the camera and doing this at the same time, but basically you just get your core piece here that's already fitted to your wrist, and you put it on top of the other cord here. And I'm going to try to do the best I can. So basically what you do is you can take this olive drab piece and just trying to get set up here. And so you got the place where it's spliced at, and you put that in the middle right here is where it's been spliced. And of course you could use a solid color too. And if you want the actual olive drab to be in the core, because this is going to have like a core color and two main colors, you can move this inside of the middle. I'm personally going to go ahead and use this camo. I want the camo to be the inside color. A lot of times the lighter color does better on the inside of the actual bracelet. Okay, but it was difficult to actually hold the camera and try to make these knots. So what I did, I got it started for you, and I'll show you what this knot is. And all you have to do is do an alternation of this knot back and forth. Excuse me, and you get started by taking the knot. It'll be underneath, like we showed, underneath this main piece. And once you get started, you just take the piece that you want to be the inside color. As you can already see, this woodland camo is in the middle, and the olive drab is on the sides. So because I want that in the middle, I take this color and put it over, and then I simply go ahead and take the other color, which is the olive drab, and go on top of that color, and on top of the woodland, and underneath of this safety orange. And you pull out that, and when you pull it out, you want to tuck it underneath in this little hole right here. You just push it through or pull it through your olive drab. And let me just break away here real shortly, and I'll show you what it looks like when you simply just tighten this particular knot. Okay, YouTube. So there you go. There's the knot pulled tight. And you can see it start making a pattern. Once again, the olive drab is shown on each side, and then the woodland is in the actual middle. Of course, you can always reverse these when you make them, and you could wear them either way. For example, you could switch it over, and as you can see, it has the opposite pattern with the woodland on the sides, and you can start to see how it's forming with the olive drab in the middle. I particularly like the this way. When you make it, though, typically the bottom is going to be a bit flatter, and this is going to be a little bit more rounded. Not always, but depends on your technique. And so I always start the way that I wanted to finish. So all you got to do is continue this and on down, and just remember to always take the one that's going to be in the middle to cross over, which would be this time it'd be this over here, and then you bring your olive drab over and under the orange, and then you just tuck it through this hole. And once again, you just keep on doing that. I'm going to break away and show you a bit more of a progression of this knot. Thank you. Hey YouTube, we're back again. So you can see there's a little bit more progression here of this particular knot. You can see that this bright neon orange, I'm not sure if the color's coming out okay or not on your side. It looks just a little bit more red on the camera, but at least that's on my camera screen. But it's definitely a bright orange. Since this is going to be underneath the wrist, you won't see this pretty much at all. You can barely see it come through, but it kind of makes it unique. That's why this color combination to me is really nice. I haven't ever made one of these before in this particular color combination, but I kind of was thinking about it, and I was like, I really like how that kind of peeks through. So basically, I'm going to continue on, and I'll be right back. Okay, YouTube, we're progressing along very well here. Just remember to make sure you have enough cording, depending on your wrist size. I say typically between 6 to 7 feet for me personally, but you may need 8. Just depends on how thick your wrists are. I have more smaller, kind of thin wrist, so I typically can wear, bracelets and stuff or wristbands like between like 6 to 7 inch range. They do pretty well, so that's typically fairly small. But with that being said, you just keep on progressing like this until you taper off, and I'll show you the final product in just a moment. Okay, so we're done with the actual braid. So we have it going down. And you can tell that this was a little bit longer, even though they were even when they started, depending on how and which one you started with will end up being the result here. So what we'll do here is we're going to snip this, and I'm going to take a lighter and melt this to this. And then we're going to adjust some of these knots here so that we can actually use it as a closure device, so the knot itself can be used to be inserted in this hole to use to close it up, and so we could wear it as a bracelet. Stay tuned. Okay, we're back. So we trimmed off the excess, which was these two little ends of the cord, and now we've also took a lighter and melted them real nice and neat. And so we're just going to go ahead and adjust this particular leftover cording for the core cording to see how it fits and to make last and final adjustments. So stay tuned for that. Okay, YouTube, we're done. So I went ahead and made the adjustments. Just put 2 knots, kind of measured the wrist area, put it on the wrist, and I got a little overhang here. Sometimes I don't mind having a little bit of overhang. I may actually trim them down just a little bit more. Maybe take off a third of that in the future. But just for now, I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. So this is what it looks like. And it's pretty cool. Now, some of you guys might say, well, why did you make it not the complete circle? Just like some of my other ones that I've gone all the way around. Now that's a personal preference. This particular time, I wanted to have it like this. In the future, if I wanted to, I have a compass. And the compass has a clip on it. It's a little button compass. And it can snap right in here in this section. It makes it a perfect little addition to your survival bracelet if you wanted to. So I wanted that option on this particular one. But sometimes I make them so that they're completely all the way around and there is no slack. There's also another method that you use the same knot. It's called a cobra knot or a sinuate knot, just like the one we just did. It's very simple. You just keep on repeating it. And like on this one, for example, I have this very small diameter buckle. You can get them in all different colors. I got this one at campingsurvival.com. It was like literally just a few cents, and they have all kind of cool colors. That one I believe is in the tan. This one right here is in the foliage green. And of course, if you're doing this particular braid, just remember it's the smallest one that you have. This one I believe is coffee color. And anyways, you have different types of closures besides just the loop and knot and the buckles. They also have other types of loops and hook systems, and it depends on how much you want to spend and how fancy you want to be. But thanks for joining me on this small tutorial. Hopefully that was helpful on learning how to make one of these. There's all kind of variations. This one's going to be considered a 3-tone colors. Typically, I just do either a single or a double tone. This one right here, though, for example, does have 3 tones as well. But like something like this one, though, it's just one color through and through. So as always, thanks for watching. And if you have any bracelets that you've made or anything that you've made out of paracord for that matter, feel free to post them or post links in the comment section below. And you guys take care.